Your second album was supposed to come out, but it never did. And by that time, had you already split with Flipmode Squad?
I didn't flip with I didn't split with Flip Mode then. So after Dirty Harriet, uh, another Busta album drops. Um, I go off and shoot 13 Ghosts. Actually, I do both. I do 13 Ghosts and Carmen. So I'm away for probably like the rest of the year. I'm in Vancouver shooting 13 Ghosts. Then I literally go straight from Vancouver to LA to shoot Carmen. So while this is happening, Busta's expressing that he wants to leave Elektra. He felt like they could have did more with my album and also his album. And at the time, I I was just rolling like my thing was loyalty. Like you're not happy, I'm not happy. You want to leave Elektra, I'm rolling with you. You know. In hindsight, understanding the business, they probably did, everything that they could with what they had. It was all about a numbers game back then, and I wasn't really thinking about what, I guess what more I could have done commercially. It was just like, oh, you're a major label. It's just supposed to happen. But so he starts devising a plan to leave Elektra. And by this time, we're also recording the second Flip Mode album. So we were able to leave Elektra with our masters from the second Flip Mode album and have Jay Electra, I'm about to say Jay Electra, Jay purchased them.
J Records.
J Records, yes. Jay purchases the masters, buys us out. So basically, we got an advance for recording a new album from Elektra and Jay. Like, it was, we did a little finessing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Busta did some finessing. We got, and we end up on J Records. Now, I was hesitant about signing my solo deal with Jay. I wasn't confident in Jay as the home for my next solo project. But, I took a leap of faith, record this album, phenomenal album. It was definitely more reared to my commercial demographic, a lot of features. It was very feature heavy. Like this was the album that I think would have definitely put me in the conversation as far as like stats and charts and Billboard, because like all of the buzz names, artists, everybody you could think of, from Pink to to Fabulous to Gang. I mean, there was just anybody who was anybody. I had Lloyd Banks on it, and G-Unit's popping off. Like, I had all the who's who. And it was still the best of both worlds, because I had large Professor production. I had No ID production. I had Ghostface on my intro. Like, there was, just about every song was like a feature with like a heavy hitting producer. But I also had the commercial stuff. Like I had Pink. I had, like I definitely had the best of both worlds covered. And Party and Bull becomes, my single. And I was so gassed for that record. Like, when Joe Budden made the Fire record with Busta, like, I thought, it's funny because now that I look back, I wonder, like, does he look at me or feel a way like, like I swagger jacked him or something? But at the time, when he dropped his record, the first thing that came to my mind was like, oh shit, this is some innovative shit for Jersey. This is what we do. This is like house music, a hip house fusion, and I wanted to keep that thing, I wanted to like expound on that. So I went straight to Just Blaze. I was like, yo, I want the same shit you just made for Joe. And Party and Bull is created, and it does well. So Party and Bull becomes this single that radio stations begin to add with no ad dollars or anything. Tracy was running Hot 97 at the time, and I remember she was like, yo, promise me this is going to be a single with a video. And we're like, yep. So she went on and added it. And then I remember having to sit in J Records and like try to explain to them why they had to make this record a single. So, there was a lot of different things that was making me uncomfortable about J Records. But one thing I will say about them, they spared no expense when it came to me. Like, as far as like styling team, everything. Like, they definitely stepped up to the plate as far as like the expenses it took to market a female.
Yeah, and I just want to say that I don't think a lot of people realize that a female rapper is just so much more expensive than a male rapper. Hair and makeup, wardrobe, moving all those people around.
Right. I had a hair person, a makeup person.
That's what I'm saying.
So
it's and that's
security.
Yeah. This is why you historically haven't seen a lot of female rappers come out at any given time. It's just a big expense for the label. It's a bigger financial risk.
Right.
So this album ultimately didn't come out though.
This album doesn't come out. As Party and Bull is out, Busta is in talks with Dre to sign over at Aftermath. And I think J Records I think what really ultimately happened was J Records just got wind of us getting ready to, take off. Well, I'm going to say us because, I wasn't in talks. Right. I wasn't going to Aftermath. That was a Busta thing. But, ultimately, they got so pissed with him that,
they said, fuck it. Everyone associated with
you and your minions can go. So here I am, unsigned, with a song in full rotation on the radio.
And the album doesn't come out.
And
then, I guess, not only do you leave Flipmode, but Flipmode as a whole just kind of falls apart.
Flipmode, well, we were still intact. We were intact for a while because now
But none of the artists. You see what I'm saying?
None of the
Lord
artists.
Lord have Mercy.
Right.
Did he even come
Lord
out?
have Mercy was actually gone by then. Lord left, pretty much right after Dirty Harriet dropped. Like,
I heard there was some beef behind that also.
Yeah.
But none of the other artists are coming out. No one's blowing up.
None of the artists get to come out. What did carry us over for a while was, this was, I would say, the beginning of that not the beginning of the mixtape era, but when mixtapes were starting to be looked at as like albums, like when 50 was actually flipping different, taking people's records and making them brand new songs. Like, now this was different from just going and spitting a 16 or a 24 on somebody's instrumental. Like he really, at least to my, from what I could see, he was the main one, like, making full songs out of other people's records. So we started doing that. And, and I actually, made a few mixtape albums of doing that. And then treating them as actual albums, like really getting features and for what were known as mixtape songs. So that carried me through 2004, 2005, and then 2006, Touch It comes, which was a really big record.
Yeah, on Aftermath for Busta.
On Aftermath. And I was actually on it by accident. This whole concept of the mega extended remix comes from I just did a random 16 on this beat. And I send it to him like, yo, I want you to hear this, this mixtape joint about to drop. Like that, my verse for Touch It was part of my, my whole mixtape spiel. So I send that to him, and he's like, wait, I'm thinking about getting such and such and such and such. And then it ended up becoming like a real remix. And he used, and then he used my verse as part of it.
Was the Touch It remix, is that where the shooting happened?
Yes.
Aha.
Yes. The video.
Yep. Yeah. You guys are shooting the music video for Touch It remix. Mm-hmm. And Lloyd Banks is on that record. Mm-hmm. So you have G Unit involved in it.
Right.
Because of that.
Right.
Was Cassidy on that record?
Cassidy was not on the record, but Swizz.
Swizz
produced it, and Swizz was at the video.
With Cassidy or no?
No, not with Cassidy. No,
but Cassidy had recently dropped a music video dissing 50 Cent.
Right.
I remember there was
there was big,
there was a guy that kind of looked like 50.
Nobody remembers that video. Like I've had a couple conversations. People don't remember that video.
I remember
think then 50 had it removed from beat. Like he was flexing at that time. Like
I remember there was a guy with like a do-rag.
Yeah,
and like in like Speedos pouring like oil all over himself. Because 50 was doing the whole oiling up thing back then.
I remember that was a Cassidy song.
That was a Cassidy song.
Right. So there was tension
between Swizz.
Yeah. And Swizz is, Cassidy Cassidy's producer.
Well, Cassidy was signed to Swizz.
Right. So
okay.
There's this tension between, there's a fallout between 50 and Cassidy, which spills over to the rest of G Unit and Swizz, which when they shoot Touch It, I believe this is the first time that they see Swizz face to face.
Yeah.
Since that,
So you're there at that video shoot.
I'm there. I'm literally on stage rapping my part.
Okay. Buster's there along with his bodyguard. Mm-hmm. And then that's when the story gets a little hazy.
Well, I'm on stage rapping my part. Busta is with me. He's, the clips that we're together. Like, we're literally shooting that scene. Then we hear yelling on the side of the stage to the point where, it's louder than I'm trying to do my part. And then yelling happens. So Busta, he goes to diffuse the situation to find out what's going on. And I don't see Busta anymore. We're waiting for him to come back. He doesn't come back. So I just, continue to do my part. And all of a sudden you hear gunshots. Like, so I didn't physically see anything because, like, everything is outside now. We hear gunshots. Everybody starts going crazy. And then I still don't see anything because now, moments later, the cops arrive, and now the cops, they aren't letting anybody leave the building. So it was like I was stuck in the building with like the stylist, the wardrobe. Flipmode is gone. Well, there wasn't anyone from Flipmode there outside of me, but like nobody else from Flipmode is on a record. So it was really just us. I think Spliff was there, but like literally all of this happens and I don't see anything. All I hear are first I hear this yelling, Busta leaves, and then I just hear gunshots.
Yeah. And after the smoke clears, Buster's bodyguard is dead.
Right.
And from what I understand was that Buster's bodyguard got in front of Buster to shield him. Right. And ends up getting shot and killed.
Right. I think the ultimate target was Swizz. I think, and I'm saying I think because I don't see it with my own eyes. I can't say.
Because Buster didn't have beef with those guys.
No, Busta didn't have beef, but, you know, what I think happened, or, you know, how it was told to me was Swiss was the target. Busta got in front of Swiss. The bodyguard got in front of Busta.
Bodyguard gets killed.
Bodyguard gets killed.
And nobody saw nothing when the police came.
Well...
Right. Now, I'm not saying you.
No. Right.
I'm saying everybody else.
See, the problem... See, what happened is whoever was outside, they all, you know, they're gone. The only people that are left behind were, you know, the people inside of the building. And none of us saw anything. Like, we're working, stylists working. I'm literally rapping. I was literally rapping my part when them gunshots went off. Like, you probably if you pull up the video footage and the original footage, you probably can hear the gunshots. I'm literally rapping. So, you know, the cops come, they're grilling us. We were inside the building. Like, we really didn't see anything. Like, all of the characters involved were outside, and they're gone now.
No, but in terms of the aftermath of what happened, it's still an unsolved murder because nobody, including Buster, cooperated with the police.
Right.
And, you know, like me personally, I don't agree with these tactics. You know, my feeling, you know, and I know Buster, we're not close or anything, but, you know, we've hung out before. Like, this man who you were paying to protect you lost his life protecting you, and you're not going to say who killed him, even though it appeared like he was right there in the area and probably could have ID'd the person. But I guess because of the whole no snitching street code or whatever else, nobody, including Buster, wanted to actually identify or even give any information to the police. Is that pretty much right?
Yep.
You know, and from what I understand, like, the police were real unhappy with Busta Rhymes afterwards. Like, he was getting fucked with afterwards by the police.
I think there were a lot of people unhappy with Busta, even the security community.
The security, the family of the security guard who got killed, I heard, was really upset because once again, this person died protecting Buster, and his family doesn't get any closure because Buster doesn't want to cooperate with the police. Right. And to this day, in 2019, that crime is still unsolved.
Right. I mean, you know, when it comes to the streets, it's like, if you're not, you know, most people would say if you're not cooperating with the cops, it's because you're gonna deal with it another way. You know, whether or not it was dealt with another way, I can't confirm or deny. But that's usually, you know, how it goes when you don't cooperate with the police.
I mean, like I said, I personally don't agree with any of this shit. You know, like,
you know, it was an unfortunate situation. For one, it definitely shouldn't have happened because that was such a beautiful day. Like, you know, Missy, Mary, DMX literally just left by like 5 minutes. Like 5 minutes, and he was squad deep too. I can't, like, sometimes when I play it over in my head, like, I can't imagine, you know, how that would have turned out if it's like Swiss, DMX, and his peoples, and G.
Oh, right, because DMX, that's Swiss's man. Like,
right,
yeah,
like,
so DMX would have gotten involved in that shit.
Like, DMX and his whole entire entourage literally just left like 5 minutes before G-Unit showed up. So, I mean, maybe it could have, you know, maybe the situation wouldn't have happened. Maybe it would have been a whole lot worse. I mean, just, you know, you don't know. It was such a beautiful day up until that energy came.
Yeah.
And I think that was, like, you know, the most upsetting. And, it was you know, I felt bad for a number of reasons. The most obvious being that someone had to lose their life. You know, I felt bad for Bus. Like, damn, this moment, this beautiful moment that you created for all of us, had to go this way, and now you're in a position of doing the right thing. What's the wrong thing? Do you have to fear for your life? You cooperate with the cops. Like, there's just so many mitigating factors that, that was a tough spot. Like, trust me, it wasn't easy for Busta. Like,
I mean, you look at, like, for example, the Tekashi 6ix9ine situation. Him telling on all his co-defendants so he would get less time because he was involved in the fucking crimes that they were involved in, I think is some real fuck shit. Like, that's some real snitching. Which
that's considered
I'm
snitching.
Completely against. Now I'm on some fuck Tekashi shit. I interviewed his baby mama, like, where she read the whole, his guilty plea where he, and so forth. I get that part.
That
you are doing your job and someone kills your bodyguard and you don't want to tell because you don't want to be snitching. Like, that to me is not snitching. Like, that's
justice.
That's justice. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, I completely disagree with that whole thing, but Busta is a different person. He made his decision, and, he lived with his decision, and it is what it is.
Right. I mean, I honestly can't say what I would or wouldn't have done being put in that position. Yeah. That was a really, a really tough decision. I know he definitely, like, lost some sleep over that.